Namaskar, Pranam. We welcome you once again on the platform of Pavitra for the session of Bhagavat Reflections with Mr. S N Dalal, who has very gracefully, very mercifully accepted our invitation to come and speak. He's a speaker, international speaker, speaks at very, very big forums, and he accepted to come on this platform to enlighten us with the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are really grateful to you, Mr. Dalal. Thank you for coming once again, and I welcome you on this platform of Pavitra. And over to you.
Thank you very, very much. I again, once again, thank the Pavitra Forum for having me on their platform. We'll be continuing our discussion as we on the second day of our Bhagavat Reflections. So if for those who had joined last time or not joined, what we were discussing is different aspects of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is a very, very profound scripture, a scripture which is also called the Amalam Puranam. The Puran, which is Amala. Amala means completely pure. Mala means impure. Amala means completely pure. It is also called the Paramhansa Samhita. It is a scripture which is relished by the Paramhansas. We briefly discussed the background last time about the Srimad Bhagavatam, the discussion between Vedavyas and Sri Narad Muni. And today we are going to continue our discussion about in these two cantos, the reversals and the responses. It's very, very important, my dear friends, because in this life, we typically are, in a situation, matra sparsas tu konteya shitoshana shukha dukkada agama paino nityastam titikshashva bharata, right? So we constantly have a situation where there are going to be ups and downs, there are going to be reversals, there are going to be situations, there are going to be times where we are going to be very, very happy, there are going to be times where there are going to be very, very difficult situations, like the one that we are all going through right now. Very, very difficult situation. It's been 5 months that we are going through this very, very difficult times. We were like that small boat getting tossed and turned into the powerful oceanic waves of time for the last 5 months. Lot of uncertainties, lot of casualties, lot of difficulties, lot of reversals. So it is very important that how does one respond to the reversals is very, very important. And many a times, when many of us have usually had a very, very comfortable life, at least those who were born in the 70s or 60s, all of us, we didn't really have any wars, any serious wars that we saw being fought. We didn't see any serious calamities as such. Of course, we saw few of them, but not something very serious, which has a global impact. There were no world wars, no major wars, no major calamities. So this particular time that we are all going through is a very, very serious times where we are going through serious reversals. So as part of Bhagavat Reflections, my dear friends, we are trying to reflect upon how do we really respond to these reversals. Yeah. So as we discussed last time, that one's greatness has to be estimated by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada beautifully explained that who is really great? A person is great on what is his capability, what is his capacity to tolerate. Okay, this is very interesting. Tolerate is not something that you just, somehow you just face it. No. And having a positive disposition, when there are provoking situations. Yeah. So what we discussed is, what we are going to discuss, we discussed briefly last time, we're going to discuss in detail on how did great personalities exhibit tolerance. Yeah, so how did personalities in this, which appear in the first and the second canto, how did they exhibit a tolerance. So that's why there's a beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Tatenu kampam susamikshamano bhunjana evatma kritak vibhakam ridvak vapubhi vidadantam namaste jiveti yo mukti pade sadai bhak. Yeah. So this is how, what does it mean? Tate anukampam susamikshamano. That what the great souls, the great personalities, when there's difficulties, there's reversals. And how do they really Ridvak Vapubi Namaste Jivet Yo Mukti Pade Sadeva? That they just accept all the reversals in their life with folded hands. And seeing this disposition of the people, of these great souls, Krishna becomes so very, very happy with them that Jiveti or Mukti Pade Sadebhak, that the highest destination of spiritual world becomes their rightful claim, Sadebhak, Mukti Pade Sadebhak, that Mukti, the highest liberation, becomes their rightful claim. Yeah. So that is what we are going to be discussing, how great souls exhibit tolerance. And what we need to learn is, as I said last time, it is not just hearing, but after hearing, we need to do mananam. That's exactly reflection. We need to really go deep into our hearts and not just reflect within our hearts, but reflect in such a way that from our heart it actually is seen. It actually something that we see in our own behavior. We improve our behavior. We improve our response. We improve the way we really respond to situations. Otherwise, we remain the same. But when we hear something again and again and again, it does have an impact on our heart. It purifies our heart. And then we respond in a much better way, right? Because reversals are something which is beyond us. It is not going to be in our control. But how we respond to these reversals is very much within our control. And the way we respond to reversals and is going to be deciding our mental disposition, our emotional disposition, our physical disposition, and finally, very important, our spiritual disposition, right? So the idea is that when we hear from these personalities, when you see, not hear, but when we see how these personalities behaved in reversals. So we discussed briefly, but we are going to be discussing about Shri Vedavyas. We are discussing about the six personalities in which appear in the first canto, first two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we discussed about those personalities which appear in the first and second canto of Bhagavatam, what reversals they went through and how did they respond. Yeah. So what was the reversal? If we discussed last time, we will repeat it briefly once again. The reversal was that even after writing extensively, Vedavyas have written many scriptures. But after writing extensively, Vedavyas was still very dissatisfied. He was not very happy. He was not feeling very contented. He was feeling miserable. That why, even though I've written so many scriptures, I've written so many important lessons for the people of the world, but why I'm not satisfied? So this happens, right? For many of us. And we sometimes wonder that in spite of really doing everything, in spite of having a nice family, in spite of having a nice bank balance, in spite of having some sort of a spiritual practice that we follow, in spite of having all the possible situations that could be wrong, but having them right in our life, we still find some dissatisfaction. That is the exact reason why Lord Buddha, before he became Buddha, he had everything. He was a prince. He had everything. He had all riches, everything. And he was so well protected. His father didn't want him to be exposed to the four miseries. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. He didn't want them to be exposed. Because he said if he gets exposed to that, then he will start wondering what is all this. So he wanted him to be happy. But then when he went on that famous ride around the city, he saw a dead person getting carried. He saw people getting disease. He saw people dying. And he saw the pain of birth. He said, what is this? And that gave him the reason to really find the real purpose of life. So because he was dissatisfied, he realized that this is not what is going to be making me happy. There's something much higher. So Vedavyas, in spite of writing all the scriptures, he was a literally incarnation of Krishna. He was dissatisfied in spite of writing extensively. How did he really respond to that reversal of dissatisfaction? The reversal was the reversal of dissatisfaction. The heart was so dissatisfied. I was so frustrated out of dissatisfaction. So his response was he went on an introspection. He was introspective. Okay, let me just go deep within and figure out why am I dissatisfied. And then he took shelter of, I'm sorry, it's not or, but he took shelter of his guru. Right? Two things. Whenever we are in the reversal situation, most of the time we are so much driven by the mode of passion, my dear friends. We are constantly driven by our external acts of passion. We want to just sort out things externally. We hardly go within and introspect. How do I react to this reversal that has come in my life? How many of us have really gone within in this 5 months and really found out, okay, fine, this is a serious issue. Let me go within and do something which is going to be permanently changing my life, and that's how I will respond to this corona situation. So Vedavyas has introspected. When you go within, my dear friends, then you really find the time to really go deep within the real purpose of life. Introspection. What is introspection? It is inspection, but internal. So you inspect, what is it that is missing in your life? What is it that you need? So he did deep introspection. And then he took the shelter of his spiritual master, Narad Muni. He said, please, I am not able to understand why am I dissatisfied. Because within my limited understanding that I have done everything to be happy. Because I've done everything that the world needs of writing these very scriptures. But still I'm not satisfied. Oh, my dear Gurudev Narad Muni, please tell me another important thing. To approach authority, to approach a person who can see things differently than the way we are seeing things. We need a mentor. We need a guide. We need a spiritual director. We need a guru in our life. Arjun he needed a guru when he was in confusion. He approached Krishna. Every great person needs a guru. So Vedavyas, at this situation, he approached Narad Muni, and Narad Muni really gave him the understanding that really, my dear Vedavyas, the reason you are not satisfied is because you have written everything which is basically addressing to the four sub-religious principles: artha, karma, dharma, and moksha. But you are not addressed the practice of pure devotional service. Please write a scripture which is addressing pure devotional service, and that's where Vedavyas wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So this is what he said. So the way Vedavyas, so what we learn from Vedavyas is the need when there are reversals, so need to introspect, and the need to take shelter of an authority. The second is, we have Narad Muni. Narad Muni, what was his reversal? Narad Muni went through a reversal. His mother died when he was 5 years old. Yeah. So his mother died when he was 5 years old. Very devastating situation. He was wondering, what do I do? Can you imagine a situation when a child is just 5 years old, practically having nobody else to really depend upon, and then she also dies? Huge reversal. Completely lonely in life, my dear friend. Narad Muni was in his previous life, I'm talking. And how did he respond to it? His response to it is that he took this as a special mercy of the Lord. This is very, very important. Of course, it is not easy. It's not easy that, okay, if some reversal comes, somebody dies in our family, or some bad news comes, or some situation happens in our life, how do we take it as a special mercy of the Lord? Not easy. But that is where comes the association of people who are our well-wishers, who, as I said, who are seeing things in a different way. We might not understand something at this point in time, because if we understand everything that is happening in our life, we are God. Because if we understand everything, we are God, but we are not God. So everything cannot be understood the way it happens at that point in time. Sometimes it takes some hours, some days, sometimes it takes years to understand why something happened in my life, why something is happening the way it is happening. So Narmuni just took it as as complete faith. He had something faith that, well, I don't understand this. I don't know what, why this happened to me. I just had my mother, and my mom and my mother is dead, and I'm just 5 years old. But because he had, the background was, just before his mother died, he had taken Mahaprasad of some very, very advanced devotees who had come, and his mother had served them prasad. And because Narad Muni in his previous life as a child was serving this Bhakti Vedantas, the great souls, and Narad Muni knew that after great souls eat whatever remnants are there, there's a lot of potency in that remnants, a lot of spiritual potency. So he just requested that, can I honor your prasad? And they very happily, willfully told him that yes, he can. And he took that prasad because he was empowered by the blessings of these great souls. He had he had this wonderful foundation created in his life. Where when this reversal happened, because after he get the blessings of Bhaktivedanta, this reversal of his mother dying happened in his life. When this reversal did happen, he could really see it as a special mercy of the Lord. So in the first case, Vedvyas, he introspected, he took shelter of his guru. In the second case, Narad Muni, he took it as a special mercy of the Lord. Because Krishna, as explained in the Ishopanishad, Om Purnamada Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. That Krishna is perfect and complete. Everything emanating from Krishna is perfect and complete. A part of Krishna, that part is also perfect and complete, and Krishna still remains perfect and complete. That is the first invocation verse of the Ishopanishad. The Krishna is perfect and complete, and at the same time we know that Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. So if Krishna is perfect and complete and is the cause of all causes, so then whatever is happening is perfect and complete because Krishna is the doer of it. We need to understand it, and if we do not understand it, we need to have that faith that in due course, maybe I will understand it, but at this point of time, I'll take it as special mercy of Krishna. That's how Narad Muni took it. The third example that we are going to be taking is of Draupadi. Draupadi, what was her reversal? Draupadi's reversal was that 5 sons of Draupadi were killed by Ashwatthama. Very, very brutally. It was a devastating situation. I mean, can you imagine what it means? That, she was anyway, finding it so difficult that war was going on one by one. All the near and dear ones were dying. And then she gets the news that Ashwatthama, in a very cruel and a very foolish way, he kills the 5 sons of Draupadi, thinking them to be the Pandavas. I'm surprised why this is not coming in the 1 second. So yeah. So the 5 sons were killed by Ashwatthama, and that was a serious reversal. In one shot, all the 5 sons of Draupadi, which she had 5 sons from each of the husband, all the 5 sons were killed brutally, and that too very foolishly. So what was the response of Draupadi? Draupadi's response was that, Bhima said we should catch hold of Ashwatthama and kill him. Even Krishna said we should kill him. And And then Arjuna went on his chariot to catch Ashwatthama. He caught hold of Ashwatthama. And then when Ashwatthama was caught and brought in front of Draupadi. So there was a beautiful discussion, my dear friends. It is very, very interesting and important to understand this discussion. The discussion between Arjun, Bhima, all the Pandavas rather, Yudhishthir, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadev, and Draupadi, and Ashwatthama and Krishna. They were there. So Bhima was completely convinced that we need to kill, because this is a serious, what he has done is terrible. He needs to be killed. Krishna said here, actually, even from the perspective that somebody like him who has done such atrocious activities, he should be killed. But Draupadi said no, she didn't want to be. And what is the reason? And Bhagavatam, this is the first canto, 7th chapter, beautifully explains the various. The first thing, she said she didn't want Ashwatthama to be killed because he's a Brahmana, and because he's a Brahmana, the Brahmanas are like our spiritual master, because they were Kshatriyas, right? So the Brahmana is like our spiritual master. So the first reason is Dharayam. Dharayam is based on dharma. Based on dharma, as dharma, first reason why he should not be killed as part of dharma. Brahmanas are like our spiritual master, and he's a Brahmana after all. He's a son of a Brahmana. He's a Brahmana. So first reason I should not be killed is because of dharma. The second reason she said is Nyayam. Yeah. The second reason that she said is Nyayam. And the Nyayam means because we are obliged to our spiritual master. As a Pandavas, your guru is Dronacharya. And Dronacharya happens to be his father. We are obliged to the spiritual master always. And as part of our obligation, as part of our nyay, we should not be killing because he's the son of your guru. So she gave first reason as dharma, then nyayam, and the third reason is sakururam. Sakaruram means basically that Kripi is that the son is considered as the representative of his father, and Kripi is still living. So of course, at this point in time, we all know that Dronacharya was already killed. So Kripi was already a widow. But it is explained from the Shastras that the son, when he's still living, he's still considered to be the representative of his father. So Kripi was his mother, still had the support and protection of Ashwatthama as a father. I say if you kill Ashwatthama, Kripi will be completely without any support. Kripi will be completely without any protection. So from the Sakurnam, from the perspective of giving proper protection to Kripi, we should not be killing. And then she said, Nirvyalikam. This is beautiful words explained from the 7th canto the 7th chapter of the 1st canto. It's explained that never insult and cause pain to the respectable order. Niryalikam means we should never cause pain and insult to the higher order. So it is explained that because the higher order, they are Brahmanas, we should never really cause pain. So that is the fourth reason she explained why we should not be killing her. And then the fifth reason explained is Samam. Samam is, my Lord, do not make Dronacharya cry like me. Beautiful. Such a beautiful example. He said, I am without a son now. I know my children are killed and I'm suffering. But a devotee, my dear friends, is para dukhe dukhi. Such a beautiful feeling, my dear. Please let us understand. Draupadi was not in the mood of revenge. Her natural disposition as a devotee was para dukhe dukhi, that I am suffering. I understand the suffering of what it means for a mother to lose her children. Let not Kripi suffer with the loss of the son. So Samam, so I don't want that same thing to happen to Kripi. So please, this pain is too much. So the response, please understand, but all this response that Draupadi is showing is a beautiful lesson to us, during, and let's say the last one, then we can briefly discuss, and then is Mahat, that if the kingly administrative order offends Brahmanas and enriches them, then that when the kingly order, the Kshatriyas, they disrespect the Brahmanas, and that wrath, I mean that whole disrespect to the Brahmanas will create fire and burn the royal family. We should not attract curses of the Brahmanas, because that will destroy our family. That's why Mahat, we should respect the Mahats, the great souls. We should not displease them. So the response, my dear friends, in this, the 5 responses of Draupadi is very, very exemplary and very, very important to understand. The first is, our response should always have dharma. We should never forget, we should never become adharmic. Many times, I again repeat, in our passion, in our mood, in our mode of passion, as I said, many times when reversals come, we immediately are transported into the mode of passion, and we may start doing things. And mode of passion does not support dharma; it supports adharma. So we start doing things. And what happens? There's a reversal. So for example, a small reversal. And let's example, we are going on a road, and somebody just comes in front of our car. It's a small reversal, and it bangs your car. Then you get down, and we have seen such ridiculous road rages, right? People just fighting so cruelly, beating up people, and in fact killing them also. I mean, when I'm saying this, I need to be honest. Many times I also lose my composure, because we are constantly operating in a mode of passion. We give them some galis and say, hey, what, how stupid, how idiot, what are you doing? Of course, many times when I'm driving the car and I speak something, my wife says, well, you are speaking, only I'm hearing, nobody else is hearing, because the person who I'm speaking is outside. He's not hearing, she's not hearing. Yeah, I mean, that apart. But the main point I'm trying to say, the first response, we should always have dharma. Let's analyze whatever we do, as explained, that we should be just putting our responses on in balance. Before we respond, let us do introspection and see, is this dharmic? Is this the right nyai? Is this the right is this the right way of dealing? So is there any way I'm disrespecting anybody? Is there any way this act of mine, the response that I'm giving, will attract negativity, will attract curses, will attract negativity in my life, which can really affect my life and affect my spirituality? I should not be doing this, because if we offend somebody, my dear friends, if people are offended, let's be sure. This is very important, that if we think that we offend somebody, and we are going to be released from their offense, then we are highly mistaken, because for every action there's an equal and corresponding reaction, law of karma. So even if you displease, you sometimes you just become very angry with your workers, with the maids, with your security guard. Hey, kya karta hai? What are you doing? And that person's heart is hurt as well. But he is a small person socially. He doesn't have a capability to really retaliate, but his heart is pained. My dear friends, be sure that if you pain somebody, you will get a reaction to this. 100%. That is why it is beautifully explained that what the speciality of the Pandavas were always doing acts in such a way they were attracting blessings after blessings after blessings, because they were constantly dealing in a mode of goodness and in the mode of pure goodness. They're constantly aware about dharma. But it's explained that the Kauravas, all their activities, that what Duryodhan did, what Dusasan did, what Karna did, what Shakuni did, and all the other Kauravas supported them. all these acts that they did, they're constantly attracting more and more curses. So their life was filled with curses, and the Pandavas' life was filled with blessings. And the way we should respond to reversals, or way we in general we should respond to anything in our life, should be in such a way that we are constantly attracting blessings in our life. Because when we attract blessings, our life is growing. We come closer and closer and closer to the mode of goodness. And only when we come in the mode of goodness can we execute devotional service, which is in part of pure goodness. We need to come from the mode of ignorance to the mode of passion, and mode of passion to the mode of goodness, and from mode of goodness we need to go further to the mode of Shuddha Sattva, of pure goodness. So whatever responses, my dear friends, we have should be in such a way that they are supporting our devotional activities. And that's what Draupadi is teaching with her. It was a serious reversal. 5 children getting killed. But even at that point in time, she didn't want Ashwatthama to be killed. She didn't want to take any revenge, because she was constantly keeping the dharma in mind. She was constantly keeping the nyaya in mind. Sometimes our reactions is much over proportionate to the reversal. Sometimes somebody has done something bad, but our reaction is much in overly proportionate to what the person has done. So there's no nyaya to it. So being dharmic, being having the right nyaya, to constantly attract good wishes from people. People should feel that, oh, thank you so much for behaving with the way you are behaving with me. Response should be very small or big. Sattvic response is very important. And then we go on to this particular discussion of Uttara. Uttara is another personality which appears in the first 2 cantos of Bhagavatam. Uttara, as I said, is the glorious mother of Parikshit Maharaj, the wife of Abhimanyu. And what was her reversal? The reversal that she went through, that the Brahmastra attacked her womb to kill her embryo. I mean, we all know, many of you who are mothers or even fathers who have seen your wives being mothers, when you're carrying a child, how much love does a mother have for the child? Anything the mother will do to protect the child, anything, practically anything. That's much love, because to having the child born and getting created from your own body it's so very special, and so very attaching, in the right sense attachment. But then Ashwatthama had shot an arrow, Brahmastra, and directly focused on the womb of Uttara, because the only heir to the Pandavas was in her womb. Everybody else was killed. So he wanted to destroy the only person. This was a serious reversal. I mean, can you imagine this? It's such a serious reversal. You are attached to your child, and at the same time, not just ordinary child, the child who is going to be the heir to the whole kingdom, to establish dharma. And how did she respond? She took complete shelter of the Lord for protection. She took shelter of the Lord and said, "Oh, my dear Lord, now you can protect me if you want. Rakhe Krishna, mare Krishna rakhe." That Krishna, if you protect, there is no power on earth which can destroy this child. That's the faith that she had. That's the faith. In reversals, we need to have faith and approach Krishna. Approach God. Approach personalities that whom you have faith in. Take shelter of protection. Because reversals is the time where we really know that we need protection. We always need protection. We always need protection. But when we are reversals, we really know that we need protection. Very interesting. We always need protection because very insignificant people. We always need protection. But when reversals, when we find ourselves shaken up, because of some situations which are happening in around in our lives. We need protection. How much many of us, how much we are trying to protect our health right now? Yes, and we must taking all the possible medicines for immunity building, doing all the possible activities to really make sure that we are very, very careful in the situation, because we need protection. But ultimately protection is e dhana yauvana putra parijana ite kiyache paratitire kamala dala jal jivana talamal bhajahu hari pada nitire. The great saint by the name Govinda Das Kaviraj, he writes this bhajan. Bhajahure mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. He says that, oh my dear mind, please become abhay, please become fearless, because you have the protection of the Lord. Let us chant Bhajahu Bhajahure mana Sri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Oh my dear mind, take shelter of Sri Nanda Nandana, because after you take shelter of Sri Nanda Nandana, Krishna, you will become Abhay Charan. And then he goes on to say a very interesting thing, that e dhana yauvana putra parijana ite kiya chiparatiti re. He says that e dhana, that many of times we feel that, oh, this wealth will give me protection. Yeah. So we have wealth, my bank balance, my cash will give me protection. So we think that the wealth will give me protection. And then we say that idhana yovana, well, I'm young, but what will happen? Young people are also dying. Many times we think that we are young, it's still a lot to go, but young people are dying. I feel sad to say that, but it's a fact. Idhana yovana putra, my family members, my relatives, my friends, they will protect me. But he said idhana yovana putra parijana. These are all infallible soldiers. Their protection is very short-lived. It's like the happiness derived from these people, and the protection that they can give is very short-lived. It is as short-lived as a drop of water remaining on a lotus petal. How long? Not very long. But Bhajahu Hari Pada Niti, and that is why it is that the only niti is if you take shelter of Krishna, take shelter of Narsingadev, as Prahlad Maharaj took, that, oh Krishna, that when there was reversals, serious reversals in his life, getting trampled by elephants, getting thrown off large cliffs, getting burnt in fire. I mean, what sort of reversals for a tiny child of 5 years, Prahlad? But he had complete faith. Of course, this is unbelievable faith. Unbelievable faith. But he had faith. He was just praying to Krishna. And if Krishna wants to protect us, this recently, one of our friends, she had some medical issues, and they did some tests, and from the test externally it was appearing that yes, there was some sort of a cancer, but it's only stage 1, nothing to worry. But then when actually they had to do operation and remove that particular cancerous situation from our body. But when they did that operation and they felt that it was little spread, so they sent the thing for getting tested, and then the report came that it was actually not just first stage, but it is 3rd stage cancer. And we were all shocked, we were all sad. Very close friend of ours. Very, very sad. We were all praying. We sent messages, and devotees were intensely praying that Krishna, please protect this wonderful person. But then they said, let's take a second opinion, let's take a third opinion. And they took a second opinion, third opinion from the authorities in this field in Mumbai. And the third opinion, fourth opinion came. I mean, the second and the third opinion came. There's actually stage 1, nothing to worry. And she just needs, it's 99%, for 99.9%, there's no problem. So prayers of devotees is powerful. And prayers of devotees to protect is very, very powerful. And that's what Uttara did. And the fact is, her prayers fructified. Krishna protected the womb. Even the powerful weapon of Brahmastra could not destroy. Because Krishna is there. The Lord is there. What more you need? So her response was to take complete shelter of the Lord's protection. So Kunti, Vedavyas, the way he responded to reversals is introspection, taking shelter of authorities. The way, I just go back, the way Narad Muni took shelter is that he took as the mercy of the Lord. The Draupadi took shelter is that she always kept the dharma, always kept nyay, always kept the purpose of getting blessings in her mind. And the way Uttaragi took shelter is she took shelter of clinging to the Lord for protection. And then Queen Kunti, another very amazing personality, appears in the 8th chapter of the first canto of Bhagavatam. And reversals, her life was all about reversals. One after another, one after another, one after another. She just a tiny girl. She just invokes, she gets blessings, she invokes Surya, and she becomes a mother before marriage. Very, very embarrassing situation. Tremendous reversals. She just sends packs the child in a basket and puts it in a river to flow. Felt very painful. Then her husband dies. She's in the forest. 5 children. Her co-wife, a co-sister, Madri, she also dies. And then Lakshagraha, and so many situations in her life. Many reversals. How does she take reversals? Kunti Maharani is explained in the 8th chapter of the first canto, that she prayed for more calamities so that when for the darshan of the Lord. Because in every calamity, Krishna helped them because she was praying. So what did she pray? This is unbelievable way to respond to calamity. Something which I can myself never do it. I can only speak about it. But honestly, I swear I can never follow in the footsteps of Kunti Maharani. What was she doing? She was praying for more calamities, because what was her thinking? Because when calamities come, it's not a problem. Because it is only in calamities that I can see Krishna directly. I want more and more calamities. Can you imagine? What a superlative response to calamities. Superlative, absolutely superlative. Something which is beyond. We all try to run away from calamity. Now here is a lady who was so attached to Krishna, was so attached to seeing Krishna and she knew that Krishna is always going to be coming when there's calamity. So she said, okay, if I get to see Krishna, whatever it takes to see Krishna, I will do that. And for that means I need to be in calamities. So let the calamities come again and again and again. And she prayed for calamities. This is beyond all of us. Beyond us. But yes, here is an example from Srimad Bhagavatam of how this personality, Queen Kunti, responded to reversals, responded to difficulties in her life. When her life was filled with difficulties, she was just frustrated. She didn't get depressed. She had all the reasons to get depressed. All the reasons to complain that, Krishna, what are you doing to my life? Please have mercy on me. We would say that, right? That, Krishna, please have mercy. So many difficulties you are saying. Are you really God? Sometimes people say that, are you really God? Are you really good? Or are you really cruel? Is God good or cruel? People have that doubt when some calamities happen. But Queen Kunti had such unimaginable, unlimited, profuse love for Krishna and for God. And not only love, but so much faith in Krishna, that her way to respond was that let the calamities come more and more and more. Unbelievable. And then Arjun, it comes in the 15th chapter of the first canto of Bhagavad, that he was separated from his intimate friend Lord Krishna. This was a calamity. This is a time where Krishna disappears. He goes back to the spiritual world. And Arjuna gets the news. And he was devastated. When friends are separated, it is devastating. But when friends like Krishna and Arjuna, who are really thick, intimate friends, and when you have a friend like Krishna, and you experience separation from him because Krishna has left, It is absolutely devastating. Arjuna was experiencing devastating experience. His life was finished. It was a calamity. It was a serious reversal in his life. He was really missing his friend. And he was thinking that, oh, this friend did so much for me. He was reminiscing all the wonderful times that he spent with Krishna. But how did he respond to this reversal? Very, very interesting. His response to his reversal was he took shelter of the Lord's instructions. Very, very important lesson for all of us. How did he respond? He missed the Lord's personal association, no doubt about it. He missed it. He said, I missed the Lord. How much I played with him, how much I slept on the same bed with him, how much I joked with him, how much I really, sometimes I took him for granted. Sometimes I argued with him. But he was missing the physical association of the Lord because the Lord was no there physically. But then at that point of time, he realized that the Lord is not there physically, but his instructions are there in the form of the Bhagavad Gita and in the form of the personal instructions that the Lord has given me beyond the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna took shelter of the instructions. My dear friends, that is exactly what we all also need to do. When there are reverses in our life, we should have the wisdom. We should have people having those wisdom surrounding us will help us to take shelter of the Lord's instructions. In our Bhaktivedanta hospital, we have the spiritual care department. Hospital means a place of birth, a place of disease, and a place of death. Right? So there's always birth, disease, and death happening in the hospital. So we have obviously people dying in the hospital. And as spiritual care department, the department people go, and when somebody is dying, we do what is called, after the person is dead, of course we give them all the possible support when the person is dying. And after the person is dead, for the relatives, we have what you call the bereavement care. To help them to take shelter. And so many times, we have seen people, even my own wife, she's been involved in the spiritual care department activities. And she has been saying that so many times she has, told to a person who has just lost her husband, and then they sit and they read the Bhagavad Gita to that person. And when they read the Gita, slowly, when the person takes shelter of the Bhagavad Gita, because these words of Gita, words of God, are not ordinary. They're not ordinary words, but they are like beautiful balm, which can really give a very, very smooth, very effect, which will really caress you. The words will caress you and give you the shelter and give you the proper understanding of the situation. So we should be surrounded by people. When we lose the physical association of somebody, we should take shelter of the Lord's instructions. In Arjuna's case, he lost the Lord himself, and he took shelter of the Lord's instructions. So, my dear friends, Bhagavatam is teaching us a very, very important aspect of reversals and responses. The first two cantos is filled with the 6 very, very special personalities and the wonderful examples that they set for us on how each of them went through very unique and very, very difficult reversals in their lives, but how each of them responded in a very unique way. And as we discussed in Vedvya's case, in Narad Muni's case, in Draupadi's case, in Uttara's case, in Maharani Kunti's case, and in Arjuna's case, each of them responded in such wonderful ways. And that is what we should be learning from Bhagavad. How I can respond to reversals in my life. I don't pray for reversals, and I pray that none of us go through reversals, but there are bound to be some reversals. And at that point in time, we should have the right understanding of how to take shelter of Krishna at the time of reversals in different ways. By keeping dharma in their mind, by keeping the right nyai, by taking shelter of the spiritual master, by proper introspection, by taking shelter of the Lord's instructions, by praying to the Lord, as Uttara did, And in this way, the six personalities teach us how to take shelter. And there are two personalities that appear in the first two cantos of Bhagavatam, of personalities who failed to exhibit tolerance in the reversals. It was thumbs down. The six of them were thumbs up, but there was a thumbs down, and that was Ashwatthama. It was a reversal for him, right? He was chased by Arjuna because of killing the Pandava sons. He was chased. And for him, it was a reversal because he was about to be killed. He knew that if I'm caught, I'm getting chased by Arjuna. And if I'm going to be caught, I'm going to die. And for him, he was going to be very sure die because, you cannot escape from Arjuna's bows and arrows. You cannot escape from Arjuna's chariot. He's super fast. He's going to catch you for sure. So it's a serious reversal. How did Ashwatthama react to reversal? He was constantly, as I explained, he was constantly, that when we respond in the right way, we are operating the mode of goodness and a mode of pure goodness. And when someone reacts to the reverse in the wrong way, they're constantly acting in the mode of passion, in the mode of ignorance. So how did Ashwatthama react? He released the Brahmastra, which was not only improper, but it was also irreligious. See his response. He wanted to take further revenge. He wanted to do further damage. Ashwatthama was chased. He was scared. He was a reversal. He was about to be killed. So he said, okay, before I die, he shot a Brahmastra. On whom? On a person who was not even yet born. How cruel. Even at that time, he still had such envy and such cruelty in his heart that he shot the Brahmastra. It was improper and irreligious. So he took shelter of a dharma, a religion, and he had no nyaya. It was improper because he was not having the proper discrimination, viveka buddhi. We briefly discussed last time about viveka buddhi, that when we have proper sadhana, when we have proper association, when we do proper seva, sadhana, seva, sadachar, and sangha, when we have these four S's, sadhana, seva, sadachar, and sangha. Sangha means association. Then we develop what is called viveka buddhi, the right discriminatory intelligence. And with the right discriminatory intelligence, we can act in the right way. We know at that point in time, because when we have to decide how to act, it is usually our decision is in a spur of a moment, how to react to this stimulus that has come, a stimulus and a response to it. So the stimulus in this case of Ashwatthama was that Arjuna was chasing him and he had to respond. He didn't have viveka buddhi. He didn't have dharma. He didn't do introspection. He just responded. And how did he respond? He had power. Sadly, a power to a person who has no discrimination is very, very dangerous. And there's a crazy person in one of the countries, a dictator, and people are scared. There's one button he presses, there'll be a nuclear war. A crazy person with a lot of power, very dangerous. Similarly, Ashwatthama, a crazy person with so much power. He had power of Brahmastra, his father had given him. So sometimes powerful people, stupid people are also powerful, and they're very dangerous. So Ashwatthama was stupid. He had no dharma. And he released the Brahmastra. So this is how he reacted to this reverse. And this is what we should not be doing. And then we have Shringi, another. This briefly, for those who have not read the Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj comes, he's in the forest, he's hunting, he's hunting, he's very thirsty, there's no water. He goes around, he sees far away, there is a particular hermitage of a sage. So he goes to the hermitage, there's a sage doing intense tapasya, Shramik Rishi, his name is, and he's trying to draw attention of Shramik Rishi, that please give me some water, I'm very thirsty. And he was intensely thirsty. And Shramik Rishi was not responding. And then what did he say? Obviously, he in his response, Parikshit Maharaj just put a dead snake around Shramik Rishi. I said, well, you're not in responding, I'm so thirsty, I'm the king here, so he put a dead snake. Some insult. but not some serious insult. Not that he put a live snake on his around his. Just put that snake and went. And one of the friends of his son, Shami Rishi's son, was Shringi, and one of his Shringi was in the water body taking his Brahmanical bath. And one of his friends ran to him and said, "Oh, wonder what happened? He just he just put some mirch masala in this whole story. He just put some more information." And he said, "Your father was doing tapasya. This king came and he put a dead snake around and he went away. He insulted your father." And when Shringi heard this was a serious reversal. A father apparently insulted by Maharaj Parikshit. That was a reversal. He felt, "Oh, how did somebody insult my father? He's a great sage, Shamik Rishi." So again, another person, Shringi, a teenage Brahmanical boy with lot of Brahmanical power. Because of his tapasya, he had power, no doubt. And there was a reversal. How did he react to the reversal? He cursed Parikshit Maharaj to die in 7 days. Right in the water, he took water in his palms, and in his palm he pronounced a curse. Now please understand, Parikshit Maharaj was the protector, the establisher of dharma. Because while he was there, Kali could not dare to come. If you read the Bhagavatam, and I suggest all of you please read the Bhagavatam, and it's explained in the 18th chapter. I'm sorry, in the 16th chapter of the first canto, that Kali could not enter when Parikshit Maharaj was present. And here Shringi just pronounced the curse that I curse you. He just wanted to use his power, and without any discrimination, without really thinking, what is he doing? He pronounced a curse, and he said that I pronounce a curse that Parikshit Maharaj will die in 7 days. And this curse was very, very important. It was pronounced by the Brahman. It had the power, and that's how he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. And next time we will see how, in the next discussion, next session, we'll discuss how Parikshit Maharaj reacted to this curse. And that is the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll also see prayers in the next few sessions, in the next two sessions which are remaining, next Monday and next to next Monday. We'll talk about prayers, that there are supplications of grace. We'll also discuss that God is a person as explained in the two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll also discuss the all attractive form of Krishna as explained in the two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are the things that are upcoming in the next two sessions. My request is please stay tuned in to every Monday on this wonderful platform that the Pavitra group is creating for spreading wonderful messages in the world. And we were discussing every Monday evening for the next 2 Mondays also about Bhagavat Reflections, reflecting on the wonderful first, second, and two cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And these are the topics that we want to be taking up today. I thank you all very, very much. And if there are any questions, we will be happy to take at this point in time.
Thank you so much. It was really, I was glued to just listening to what you had to say, and so very alive in our lives. So I had one question regarding,
Yes.
you mentioned about a little bit about how Guru is very important in our life.
Correct.
But how do we identify our Guru? Because there's so many multiple Gurus around us, and what is that way that we can identify who is my Guru? Like, do we identify? Does the Guru identify? Or is there some mystical thing happening and we come to know that this person is going to be my Guru?
Thank you for the question. So it's very important. Nice question. It's very important that before we really figure out who is my Guru, we understand what are the qualities of a bona fide of a Guru. And there are various qualifications. One of the important qualifications is that he should be a bona fide representative of Lord Krishna or God. That means he should be coming in a bona fide disciplic succession. Because we must understand that ultimately Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. The Krishna is the ultimate Jagat Guru. There is his original Guru. But there are different bona fide lineages, which are existing, through which the knowledge. Because what is the Guru? Guru gives knowledge. See, a guru should not be seen in a sentimental or an emotional way. That, oh, this I love my guru. My guru looks beautiful. I mean, these are not the criterias. Oh, my guru just gives beautiful talks. Yes, these are important. This could be this could be the attributes of a guru, but they are not decision. We don't decide a guru based on this criteria. The most important criteria is that he should be a transparent via media of the Supreme Personality of God. That means he should be ultimately showing you the path to the Supreme. He is a transparent via media. That's very, very, very important. He should be a bona fide in the disciplic successions. There are 4 bona fide disciplic successions. One which started with Lord Brahma. One disciplic succession started from the 4 Kumaras. One disciplic succession started from Lord Shiva. And the 4th one started from the goddess Lakshmi. The 4 bona fide successions where the Lord empowers these 4 personalities to start 4 bona fide successions. And these 4 successions are still very much prevalent in this world. Started originally from Lord Brahma, started originally from Lakshmi, started originally from the 4 Kumaras, and started originally from Lord Shiva. The successions are going down. And we see the great acharyas like Ramanujacharya. Ramanujacharya belonged from the Lakshmi Sampradaya. Madhvacharya belonged from the Brahma Sampradaya. Then Nimargacharya belonged from the 4 Kumara Sampradaya. So like that, the Vallabhacharya from the Rudra Sampradaya, Lord Shiva Sampradaya. So like that, there are different Sampradayas which are still going on. And as long as we are connected, because the original powerhouse of knowledge is Krishna, and he has given, is subdivided into these 4 subsections, and they're all lively connected to the original power of Krishna. And as long as we get connected to one of those 4, we get live wires from Krishna. We are like live wires getting direct connection to Krishna. But if they are not bona fide, then even though they may be acting as gurus, but they are not bona fide, they are not connected to Krishna. So that's important to understand. Is he a bona fide spiritual master? And a guru, he teaches by his example. What he preaches, he himself practices. So that's also very, very important. So we can select a guru from his teachings, but we also to see his life. And also there is also some aspect of something from within, because when we find our guru, there could be a proper feeling in our heart. But only the heart feeling could be there, because we could be cheated by this as a feeling. But if everything appears proper, and we also feel strongly in the heart that this personality is my spiritual master, I get so inspired. And please understand, a guru is not one guru. There are so many gurus. Whoever inspires us in our path to achieve God, he's a guru. In the Bhagavatam 11th canto, there's a personality who had 24 gurus, not just one guru, but 24 gurus. And similarly, there are different gurus. Diksha Guru can be one. Diksha, where we take initiation from. But Siksha Guru, one who gives Siksha, can be many, many. And not only human beings, it could be other people who are teaching us. So they could be our gurus as well. Right? So whoever is inspiring us, but the Diksha, we need to have the one connection to Krishna. That's the Diksha Guru. And that's what I explained, that he should be a bona fide spiritual master, connected to the bona fide sampradaya, practicing what he's preaching, and behaving like a transparent via media and humble servant of the Supreme Personality of God. I think that's in brief. Otherwise, this is a whole seminar by itself. But this is in brief what I could really reply to your question.
Sorry. Thank you so much. I think that was really a revelation for most of us, who are still, some of us who are looking for a spiritual master.
Yeah, but yes. So when you say about the mysticism, many times people attribute guru to a lot of mysticism. Now,
Yes,
that
yes.
the mysticism is something which could be which could be cheating us also. So some just pure mysticism is not a barometer for judging a person's bona fideness of being a guru. So I think we must be very, very careful not to get carried away, not to get drawn by some magic or mysticism. Because the other aspects also very important. Because there was this one. I'll tell you one story. There was this one personality in our sampradaya called Rasikacharya. Rasikacharya, this is around 400 years ago. So so there were villagers, and he was a great devotee of the Lord. So villagers came to meet him, and he said, Rasikacharya ji, there's a person, there's a great personality who has come to our village, and he can fly in the sky. Whenever he wants, he can fly. So he's a great spiritual person. I said, no, don't worry, just chant Hare Krishna. Don't worry about all this. So they thought it was early morning, Rasikacharya was brushing his teeth by his datun. So they thought he's not really registered what we are saying. He said, no, please understand. He can fly on broom, on anything that he puts. He can fly anything. Are you understanding? I said, I heard it. I heard it. Don't take it too seriously. And then the third time they said it. Rasika said, enough is enough. He threw the brush. I mean, they used to use neem twigs, right? They threw the neem twig. He sat on the neem twig. He flew around, came back and started again brushing. I said, I told you this is not important. So what he was trying to prove is that don't go after mysticism, don't go after magic, but go after purity. Because what Krishna gets attracted to is not mysticism. He gets attracted to the purity. So we have to purify our heart. Many times this mysticism actually brings about lot of pride, right? So I think this mysticism alone is very, very dangerous. So when you are really wanting a guru, don't just search for a guru. I mean, you do a proper market study. I would say, like when you buy something online, you see reviews and you see whether what people have said, what this product is all about. So you do a lot of study before you buy something. Now, and here you are not buying a guru, but here you are taking shelter of a guru. You need to know what the guru is. So you please read the scriptures. You read the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita explains very nicely Tad Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprasthana Sevaya, how you should approach the Guru and how the Guru will reciprocate with you. So read the Gita first. Many times people just want to go out, when it comes to buying something, they will do a detailed analysis. But when it goes out to Guru, they will say, well, I felt like he's my Guru, so he's my Guru. But that's very sentimental. So my humble request is, please read the Bhagavad Gita. Just spend a few months of reading Bhagavad Gita. You'll get a clarity on what's a bona fide guru. Because it's important. Well begun is half done. And the important thing of beginning of spiritual life is to get a bona fide spiritual master. You got a bona fide spiritual master, half of your work is done already. But if you get a wrong person, it's a sad thing. So please, inquire about who is the guru, and that's the inquiry which you are making. But it is just limited to 5 minutes. What can we explain? But reading our Bhagavad Gita, it beautifully explains the qualities of a guru. That's one thing which I could recommend to people who need to really find a guru. Thank you very much.
Yes, because I have seen some people just go by, the feelings and some ashes or some mind reading, go for all these mystical things and get attracted and think that's a spiritual activity. But not knowing, yeah, very
This,
beautifully.
no, this is only basically people who have some power. They play around with the energies, and when they play around, if I do some tapasya, I can also start reading your mind. If I do some things, but that's just playing with the material energy. It is nothing spiritual about it. You are still operating on the material platform. There's nothing divine. There's no divinity in all these aspects. Divinity is all about working on a platform which is beyond the material elements. So when you are just sort of manipulating material elements, that's not divinity. That's not spirituality. That's just jugglery. It's just jugglery of something here and there. And people are so naive. I'm just putting it in a respectful way, but actually people are so sometimes stupid that they don't really find the difference between this manipulation and what is divinity. So I think that's very, very important. And that's why we have cheater gurus And we also have people who are wanting to get cheated, so they both get connected, and they find a cheater guru finds a cheater disciple, and they both keep on cheating each other. Right? So that's the sad part of the world, and we have so many cheating gurus. I'm nobody to judge, but it's important to find an honest spiritual master, and the qualities are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita.
And one beautiful thing you mentioned about greatness of a person is estimated by how he tolerates provoking situations.
Yeah.
But when we
yeah, when Prabhupada said for somebody that he is a great mystic, so it's okay. So then somebody just locked his toilet, okay, and he wanted to use the toilet, and the doctor said, "No, open it." I said, "No, we'll not open it." I said, "No, I have to go." I said, "Well, if you can do so much control, why can't you control your bowels?" So he couldn't control. But what I'm telling you, this is on a lighter side. But I mean, if you can't control your own body, what is going to else? So I think this what is a sad situation. So people just do some magic, some ashes, and some things like that. I'm not against people who are showing ashes and everything. They may be wonderful people, but I'm not saying that they are not bona fide. I do not want to say that people who give ashes are not bona fide, but I definitely want to say that people who give ashes are not necessarily bona fide also.
So that's not the criteria.
That's not the criteria.
Yes. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Actually,
so
I have
much.
one or two more questions in mind, but I think otherwise it will go beyond.
Yes.
But thank you so much. It was just a very, actually helping us go a little deeper.
Introspection.
Introspection, yes.
Thank you very much. Hope to see you all
We'll see you
on Monday.
next
Hare Krishna. Thank you.